Irony alert, I'm not a big fan of screens and what it has been doing to our society. I'm referring to all of it, social media, TV, smartphones, all of it. By the way, I felt this way eons before Jonathan Haidt came out with his amazing new book that I really, really want to read, and I would love to have him on my show. Dream guest alert, dream guest. You can ask someone with actual quantitative expertise and receipts, but it's obvious that these screens are doing bad things to us. We're overweight, we're inarticulate. At least I can blame mine on potential perimenopause. Things can be worse for kids that have any superpowers such as ADHD or anxiety. It's like the off-screen equivalent of a collapsing marriage on a Real Housewives franchise. It makes something that was a problem to begin with even worse. It's like a frightening, transactional, Pavlovian dog response thing. At 3 p.m. sharp, these people emerge like zombies from the Thriller video like, "Mommy, I cleaned my room and wiped my butt. Can I watch Captain Underpants?" I feel that Captain Underpants has definitely become the Simpsons of this generation. My parents didn't let me watch The Simpsons at all because they didn't like the way that the family spoke to each other, the way that the kids spoke to each other, and how the kids communicated with others. Who would have thunk 20 years later that the fifth grade text chain would have the same vibe? Oh well. I've continued in the tradition and have banned Captain Underpants from this house, and it has not been popular. By the way, these kids have like a lot of choices in terms of things to watch or gaze at on a screen, like a lot. I have to admit it though, some of these shows are hilarious. Captain Underpants and Teen Titans in particular, they have a sophisticated modern humor. The representation is even without having just one token minority, like pre-2020 Hallmark movies that I love. Look, 2020 really jacked us all up with the overcorrection or blatant rejection of the fact that we are all living in a world in which not everyone necessarily looks like us or prays like us. In my attempt to give the kids an alternative, I found myself stumbling across The Cosby Show on a few streaming services. Yes, right wing, it has not been canceled everywhere. So my husband is a white guy from one of the whitest parts of the UK, but happens to be a bit more liberal than me. So I was shocked when he had an issue with us showing the kids The Cosby Show because of, well, Bill Cosby. What he does not understand is that growing up, my piano lessons were scheduled around that show. That show was my comfort food before carbs became the enemy. The family was affluent and funny and lived around mostly white people. They were BFFs with their elegant grandparents. Not everyone in their neighborhood or friend group looked like them, or thought like them, or prayed like them. Naomi Campbell even stopped by from time to time. Side note, Tito Puente and Lena Horne never stopped by my house, but I would have liked it. You get my point. Most importantly, and in the 80s and 90s America, that thought there was something exceptionally unusual about my family because we were educated and had a big house and had parents with big jobs and were cultured, there was nothing to explain because it wasn't a big deal. It was not a thing. Some of you don't want to hear this, but it is true. Representation matters. I'll say it again. Some of you don't want to hear this, but representation does matter. In a world in which well-intentioned attempts at representation and diversity can often become an overcorrection, and then a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then a bunch of old white people into sheikies, I'm just saying, guys, we need to have intentional parenting and take advantage of this opportunity. This solution benefits everyone. My elementary school kids are at that age in which them and the people around them are starting to notice differences, but they haven't made a judgment on that yet. It helps with the uphill battle we're going to have as parents of biracial, bicultural kids and post-COVID America, they need a place to breathe. And for my friends' kids, quite frankly, they're going to learn, just like my kids, not to make a negative judgment on people different from them. Let's give our kids some credit. They can separate the man from the pudding pop. They don't have the same trauma we do. To them, he's just Dr. Huxtable. That's it. So there you have it. As part of your parenting strategy, please start watching The Cosby Show again. It's subtle, it's easy, it's more practical and less pretentious than a black square, and it's fun.